everyone, good evening from Frilly Curtains Comedy Club. Last storytelling event of the year, storytelling, yeah, if I mispronounced it, storytelling night. Yes, now we are testing the setup. Maria here, she's one of the producers of this wonderful night. And
Hi everyone, we are going to start in around 10 minutes. In the meantime, please feel free to go downstairs.
yeah, we'll start around 10 minutes. You heard well, Maria. And let's take a look at the room. Do we have enough audience tonight? And if you are watching us on the other end of this streaming, you are also one of our audiences. So don't hesitate to say hi. If you are living in Luxembourg, close to QosQo, Chill Lounge in Place de Guillaume, I don't know. You can also join us. We will be here for like 1.5 hours or more, 2 hours more. So the other end of the camera, we have Joanna. Maybe Joanna would like to say hi too. Joanna would like. I don't know. Hi, Joanna. Thank you very much because she's the starter of Twitch streams. So thanks to her, we can meet you in this streams, and hopefully we will continue in the next events in next year as well. So we also have some special aspects of the night, like I will use this wireless microphone for the first time as MC, and we will have rocking storytellers. The theme of tonight is a special. It's not Christmas, unfortunately. The theme of tonight is coughing season. Coughing season. So if you don't know what's coughing, we have a red stuff on the mic over there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's literally handcuffs. And coughing season is the season where romance starts. And also, it's practical to save some heating bills. You know, when you cuddle together with someone else under the blankets, you can save some heating bills. Shall we give a pause or continue? I don't know. Yeah. So we are moving to the position. Yeah, we have a keyboard, so that's also special for tonight. I'll try to mix music with storytelling. So I'll try to introduce, it's not turned on yet, but soon it will be. So we'll mix music and storytelling. So I'll introduce storytellers with a small piece of music. So it's not a professional level yet. Because we are testing it, we will try it for the first time today. But soon in the next shows you may see more music and with the comedy as well. Who do we have tonight? Let's see other storytellers and yeah, that's the famous cuffs. And they were not used, so rest assured they are not used. Yeah, rest assured. At least not yet. Maybe after tonight's show. So, if you wonder why I'm dressed like that, yeah, I'm the MC, but also the Christmas tree of tonight. Maria, yeah, you know her. She's the producer. So there is one secret. People in the audience here, they don't know, but I can tell you. The secret is, before we start, I will hide myself outside of the room, probably the elevator. So I'll start talking with the wireless mic, and people will be like, oh, where is she? And then I will come inside. I don't know if it's too cringe or it works. I don't know. So maybe we can give a pause. Comedians are warming up. You know, everyone is so heated, excited, and thank you. We'll start in like 10 minutes.
We can now place you, ladies and gentlemen, in the position for the show. we shall be starting soon. Please prepare your own beverages, coffee, tea, drinks, alcohol, whatever you wish. Get some snacks and enjoy the show that will be starting soon. If you want to go and pee, this is your last chance. Ladies and gentlemen, your last chance for peeing and pooping. So, enjoy.
Hi everyone, for those of you who ordered food, for those of you hungry people who ordered food, the waiters are going to come and leave it over here. So please, if you ordered food, watch out, because I'm assuming you paid for your food. So there it goes, like a perfect example. If anyone ordered food,
Yes. I wish you. Oh, we're all together. Oh, hey, Sandy. How's it going? Pretty good. Yourself?
I think she might sit here. We're trying to get her to go out to the alumni conference. She's sort of sad. Okay, that's hard. I mean, everything that is because mine goes on the she made her
we get. And then there's just one event where everyone's super unprepared. But I was dead ass going.
Hi everyone. Everyone doing okay? Amanda, are you doing okay?
What's up?
That's free.
You okay?
I'm good.
Great.
That's free.
How's everyone doing? All good? Thanks everyone for making it here. We just turned on the lights, so this means the show starts. Again, if you ordered food, it's gonna come through there. You can get a drink whenever you want. And as a reminder, this is our monthly open mic of storytelling. This one is cupping season edition, controversial topic because no one knows what it is. So without further ado, I'm going to leave the stage to our host, Jerry. Thank you. Welcome everyone.
Thank you, Maria, for being such a lovely host of the night. So I'm Ceren, or you can call me Jerry, that's the short version. I'm Turkish, and I'll be your MC for tonight. You can also consider me as the walking Christmas tree, so because we couldn't afford to buy one. But if you are generous to give us some donations at the end of the night, so maybe next time on the comedy event, which is in 2 weeks, we may have a real Christmas tree. So you will save me from the clothing costs. So welcome again. So we are at the last storytelling night of this year of Frilly Curtain Comedy Club. But you made a really good decision to be here, so you will not miss this special night. This night is special because of many aspects. Because we are trying, for example, this wireless mic for the first time. We will also try some musical introductions. Thank you. So we will try to combine music and storytelling and many other new things, because we will have many new storytellers as well. So you've come on the right time, you've come to the right place, and also we know that we are trying to compete with the Christmas market, which is like one of the hardest thing in Luxembourg, like trying to get attention instead of the Christmas market. So thanks a lot for coming again and being with us tonight. And yes, storytelling night. Frilly Curtains is the only organization in Luxembourg at the moment who is organizing storytelling nights. We find it really important because stories are helping us to understand ourselves and also understand ourselves in the world and the others living in the world. And it's been a very essential part of being human since the beginning of the time, right? Even before the invention of writing, people were telling stories to each other. That's how they were passing their knowledge and their memories to the other generations. And I feel like I'm also part of this humanity, like the generations. Like I feel like I'm one of the grandchildren of our grand ancestors who were coming together in these long winter nights and telling stories to each other. And I hope and I believe we will be also the grand ancestors of our grandchildren, right? So storytelling is that essential part of being human, I believe. So tonight you will listen many intimate stories. So we will live that tradition, also regenerate this fundamental human aspect. And we have a special theme tonight. Some of you may have noticed, some of you, if you haven't, we have a special theme. That's the coughing season. So, coughing, maybe you were also wondering what is this toys here. They were not used, okay, so you can touch, don't worry, don't worry. But I cannot guarantee that they will not be used after tonight. So maybe we should give it as a prize, you know, the best story of tonight. I don't know.
Great.
So the coughing season, I actually personally had to look up what it meant because I was like, does it mean coupling season? Like, what am I missing? But then, or coughing season, because it's getting cold, right? But apparently, yeah, coughing season is when you feel the summer is getting over, so it's going to be harder to stay alone or stay single. So you try to find a partner for yourself to save heating bills. Because yeah, that's why you cuddle under the blanket, and yeah, that's more practical to have someone else with you when you're under the blanket. So that's the special theme of tonight. I cannot also guarantee that everyone will stick to the theme, but we tried our best, okay? And finally, before introducing the first storyteller of the night, I would also like to share my short story about coughing. So my story began this year at the end of August. So I moved here a couple of years ago, and it's been 2.5 years. I didn't go back to Istanbul, where I was living before Luxembourg. At end of August, 3 months ago, I went to Istanbul to join a swimming marathon. And while I was there, I also had to wait a couple of more days for my friend's wedding. And meanwhile, I also wanted to see my friends, of course. And after the swimming race, I met my friends, and the friends, I mean, we drank, you know, we had a nice dinner, so I was quite happy to see them. And I actually had no expectations about my trip because I already achieved this swimming contest, like swimming challenge. I crossed continents from Asia to Europe, so I was quite happy. You know, my brain was releasing all these hormones and everything. Normally I don't drink, but some of you may have known that I also joke about it, like since I quit drinking, I don't wake up in strangers' beds, you know. But after all those months, that was the night I drank with my friends. And a friend of mine, she invited her friends to drink with us, and things went really well, you know. And apparently, I said something like that to my friend's friend, which is a guy. I wanna sleep where you sleep tonight. And apparently, I did. And in the morning, I woke up in his bed. So apparently sometimes you need to get drunk, you know, to get things moving forward. So that's how the story started, but my story doesn't have an end yet, so we are still together. Thank you, and he's in the audience for visiting me tonight, so I don't want to really point out, but so yeah, thanks very much for listening my story. Yeah, there is no end to the story yet, but if there will be, I mean, we are still writing it, and actually you become a part of my story. You know? Thank you very much also. So as the first trial of the musical MCing, let's say, I will introduce our first storyteller, Georgia, with a short tune. And her story is about love-hate relationship with our phones. So the tune should sound like love and hate, right? So it's something like maybe.
Thank you. Make some noise for Sharon. And the music was on point. It totally was. It totally was. So yeah, I'm a very, very, very unlucky person. I'm so unlucky that I've decided to come and tell you about it. So this story begins. This story begins at Munich airport, where I'd missed my flight for the 6th time this year. Yeah, but there's a silver lining. There's always a silver lining. I have had more money in compensation from Lufthansa than I've paid for flights this year. I know, how cool is that? And yes, I was travelling back to the UK. It was an unplanned visit to an expensive one for my grandmother's funeral. And I missed my flight and I landed at 3 a.m. and I had to be at work with the time difference at 7 a.m, which was fantastic. Anyway, I finished work, it was 12, and I stayed at my grandmother's that night, and I'm walking up the road to go and meet my dad, and I'm answering back to one of my numerous family texts. So I'm walking up the road like this, and all of a sudden there was an earthquake. Oh. Yeah, you don't believe that, do you, in the UK? That's because it's not true. Oh. I had an earthquake. I was head down and I had a heart-to-heart with a lamppost. While texting. Yeah, and you think that's bad, it gets worse. So I literally hit it once, and because that wasn't enough and I was in shock, I hit it a second time. And then I did what most people do, well, what animals do. What the animals do when they're hurt, they hide. So I hid in a quiet alley, and after a few seconds, when my senses came back, I was like, this is a very bad plan. Your face is completely beaten up, what are you doing, go find people. So I walked up the road and I was shaking so much I couldn't message my dad to say, go and help. So I walked up to the traffic lights and the man saw me and I walked towards him, and guess what he did? He ran away. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. I'm pretty sure I can phone my dad. So I phoned my dad, and I'm still in shock at this point, and I'm going, and I look like I've come out of a horror movie. And I say to my dad, I need you to come and help me. And he's going, where are you? Well, when you're in shock, that question is a very bad question. And I went, I don't know. I grew up in that street. And he was like, okay, go to the pharmacy. I'll meet you at the pharmacy. So I walk into the pharmacy, I know my dad's on his way, and I don't know if you've been to the pharmacies in the UK, like they don't even look at you. You walk in, they're so busy preparing prescriptions for the last 150 people that nobody looked at me. And at this point, I literally have blood dripping all down my front, and I'm like, this is shit. And I hear someone walk in behind me, and I'm like, ooh, someone can help, he's not expecting this. So I turn around, I look at the guy, and he goes, excuse me, she needs help. And I'm like, yes, please. So I sit down on the chair, she looks at me and she goes, I think you need to go to hospital. So I don't know if anyone here has experience with the hospitals in the UK. Don't go there. No, that's a minimum. That is a minimum. So they gave me great advice. They said to me, whatever you do, don't clean yourself up. So I got to A&E. And I walked in and they looked at me and they were like, okay, well, yeah, like now, walk straight through that, down that alleyway, someone will come to see you, how do you feel? And I went, well, I'm not really sure, I'd been sick on the way there, my head was spinning, I had a really bad headache, but I was fine, honestly, I was fine. And I sat down and she went, I'm really sorry to say that we don't have facilities here to do a facial x-ray. And I'm like, that's great. At this point, we're like coming up to 4 o'clock, which is rush hour. And I looked at my sat-nav and it's like 28 kilometers, 17, 18 miles to the closest hospital. And on my sat-nav it said an hour and a half. Like, I'm a cross-border worker, and that was worse. So my cousin luckily works at that hospital, so I called her, I was like, Lucy, what's the waiting time on A&E? And she went, 10.5 hours. And I looked at my dad and I went, we're not doing this. And he went, we are, it's your health. And he went, but we're not going to take that street because there are potholes and, you know, it can be a bit dangerous. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'm going to take a shortcut. So we started driving down his shortcut. And after a few minutes, I said it got worse. We hit a pothole. And I was thinking about the silver lining. I don't have to go to hospital anymore because we actually can't get there. And then I was like, okay. And my dad was like, are you feeling better? I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling loads better. Honestly, my head stopped spinning. I don't feel sick anymore. I'm feeling like I'm back into the world of living. And he's like, okay, that's cool. And I said, but do we know anyone who could clean this up? And he went, because yeah, I'm still covered in blood at this point. And he went, I can. I was like, no disrespect, Dad, I love you. You're not touching my face. Do we know? And I'm thinking, a carer, a nurse, a vet. Literally, at this point, I'm like, anything will do, but just not you. So yeah, as I said, there's always a silver lining, and I realised that at the point where his tyre had completely exploded, it was kind of like a couple of yards down the road from my mum's best friend, and she's a nurse. So there is always a silver lining. Thank you very much for listening.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Georgia. Thank you. Yeah, please give it up for Georgia. One more time. Yeah, that's actually, she should tell this story more, right? Because that can happen to any of us. Like, we use our phones all the time, like it's a part of my body now. So, before introducing the second storyteller, I just want to remind you about the concept of tonight. That's sort of open mic. I mean, we get the sign-ups before, but many storytellers are also new. And we are limiting our stories with 7 minutes. So all of us are trying to tell our stories in 7 minutes. That's important to also enjoy our life. Also, there's food over there. Did anyone order some food and didn't get it? No? But, yeah. Great. So the second storyteller of the night, I need to read it because the story is a bit complex. Brian will tell us his story of childhood in 6 codes. But to make it more interesting, have you heard it before?
No.
6 codes. Yeah, like codes are getting bigger with time, right? So to make it more interesting, by getting the audience to pick numbers 1 to 6. So as to mix up the chronology. So you'll be expected to pick some numbers 1 to 6. It's an experiment based on the sujet. If I mispronounce it, please correct. The order in which a story is told means sujet versus fabula, the chronological order of the events. So he thought it might also be a fun way to get the audience involved in deciding how the story is presented. So not the content only, but the format is also could be a story itself. So I'll try to imitate it, like, because it's 1 to 6, right? 1, 3, 6, 4, 5. Which one you will pick? So.
Give it up for Jaran. So I totally misunderstood what cuffing was about. I thought it was about keeping warm with warm clothes and coats. So sparse love life doesn't fit the bill. So I'm going to ask a volunteer to pick a number between 1 and 6. Just raise a hand. Yes, pick a number.
6.
6. Okay, so I've got my 6 coats here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm 17 years old. And this is a kind of brown tan, kind of really kind of fluffy warm coat with a hood. It's my dad's from when he was in the 70s. I found it because in our home in Birmingham there was this cupboard with all of the coats in. You know, and you kind of like find the coats your parents wore when they were teenagers. And you keep going back, and you don't end up in magical Narnia. But I just found this coat. And I put it on, I felt so cool. This was, I was 17, it was the early 90s, it was the time of acid jazz and funk, so I remember being out on my 17th birthday, and I was with my friends, and I was kind of dancing, and then someone grabbed my hand, and it was my mum. Come on, Brian, time to go home. Jess, there's my coat.
Life of Brian.
Okay, pick another number. Anyone? Yep? 3, okay, 3. So, I was... How old was I? About 8 years old in Birmingham. This is a duffel coat. Does anyone know Paddington? It's kind of like a thick woolen coat. And what's interesting about a duffel coat is it doesn't have a zip. It has these things called toggles. It's like a lined tooth of wood, and you've got to get it through the hoop. And I remember being at school, and it was break time, and everyone runs outside, zips up their coats, and goes in the playground. And so the bell went, and I ran, and I was like, okay, 1 toggle, 2 toggle. Oh no, I've missed one. Hang on, start again. It's like the duvet cover, and you kind of missed that. So like, I eventually got my coat on, the bell rang, and everyone ran past again, and I had to take my coat off. So, yeah, that's the duffel coat. So there you are. There's the duffel coat. Okay, pick another number.
4.
4, okay, number 4. So I'm 10 years old now in Birmingham, and it was time to get my own coat. I was fed up with my parents choosing coats for me. So I went with my dad to the market, and I got this really cool bomber jacket. So yeah, it's kind of like this 100% nylon, flammable bomber jacket. On the back is like a soaring eagle. I feel like Tom Cruise in Top Gun. If his dad cut his hair and he wore an HS Speckers. Yeah, I felt very cool in that coat. So yeah, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy wearing it as well. Okay, there's a number. Number 1. Okay, so I was about 4 or 5 years old in Newcastle, and this was a kind of sage green parka coat. So it's you know, bright orange on the inside, sage green on the outside. And what's great about it is you kind of zip it up and do the hood, and it keeps going, and it makes this kind of like a little minion or something out of South Park. And these were so popular, everyone in our school had them. I just remember in winter there was hundreds of us, like just rolling a massive snowball, these little green minions. And what was hard about everyone having the same coat is that one day my mum came to school and she took home the wrong child. Imagine what must have happened, you know, her being at the school gates, like, come on Brian, time to go home. I think the last story. And then I don't know how far down the street she got, but eventually she came back, and I was there, like, wondering what had happened. So she then got like a little white patch with a cartoon tiger on, and she sewed it on the back of my head, so that she'd never make a mistake again. So who else got number 1? There you are. Enjoy the parka. What have we got left?
5.
5. Okay, number 5. So 15 years old in Birmingham, and I was kind of into heavy metal and Metallica and Iron Maiden. I wasn't really into it. My friend had the posters, and I thought, well, let's try the music as well. So I had this amazing denim jacket, 100% cotton. You know, it's really nice. You know, I had all these patches on it. You know, Anthrax, Metallica, Megadeth. You know, I'll say something for heavy metal people. They're really good at sewing. And if you're going to kind of worship the devil, it's best to do it in 100% cotton. Here you are. 1 denim jacket. I think we have 1 coat left.
7.
No, there's only 2 is left. That's for the extras DVD. 2, yes. Okay, so the last coat. Yeah, so I was about how old was I? 6 or 7 years old. This was like a kind of green army surplus coat, and I do worry about army surplus for children. But anyway, didn't ask questions. What was great about this coat? I'll just put it on. Was it had like so many pockets. You know, it had pockets at the front, on the side here, on the side there, on there. It had them on the arms, it had them on the insides. I was like, what am I going to put in these pockets? And so whenever I was out somewhere, like I'd be by the beach and I'd be like, oh, shells. So I'd get some shells, I'd put the shells in it. Or like pebbles, I'll have some of those. Or I'd be in the forest and I'd find like little acorns and sycamore seeds. So I'd be putting those in the pockets. Or obviously I had my marbles in another pocket. And what was so funny about this is when I walked in this coat, it'd be like, so thank you very much. That's me and my 6 coats.
Yes, Thank you very much, Brian. Like, he's a great storyteller, also learning comedy. He's been with us for a couple of months already, and always delighted by his stories and the performance. Thank you very much. And next storyteller of the night. So he has a different kind of coughing story, not a traditional one. He's a very good comedian, also a regular at Frilly Curtains, and we are always delighted to have him in the Frilly Curtains shows. And he's always in the storytelling events, surprise us as well. So tonight he will surprise us with his professional coughing storytale. Kevin.
Big one applause for Jerry, come on guys. Thank you. Anyway, big one applause for Jess now. Wonderful. Well, I'm Ken Park, and tonight I am like many of you guys. I had no damn clue what I had to talk about because I didn't know what coughing season was. Man. I thought genuinely when I signed up for this show that it was going to be about coughing season. I've been writing a story for 5 weeks about me coughing around. It's never going to be used. Anyway, so I actually studied a little bit the subject. So Jerry indeed explained to you what it is. It's the idea of finding a partner during the winter season when it's when the weather is bad and you can't do anything outside. Clearly, this is not applicable to Luxembourg because this is all year long. Maybe it explains why people get into weddings so easily. It's also explained why we have a 70% rate of divorce. But whatever, that's a different subject, I presume, right? So what you have to know is coughing season is not only one thing. There's actually 7 steps to the coughing season. You want? Yeah, I know this shit, man. I had to read it and to learn it. Who knew about the 7 steps? By round of applause. Yeah, that was my next question, but I think it did answer my question. So, the coffee season is actually from August to February. So first, you have scouting, then drafting, then tryouts, pre-season, cuffing season, playoff, and then the championship game happens on, of course, Valentine's Day. And it's supposed to define if you can go into the mating season. So that, you know, the first thing it makes me think of is a cat trying to play with a mouse that just got freshly catched, you know. It's a bit crazy. To be honest with you, I never really was affected by the thingy. I think I got to the tryout part, but that's about it. Anyways, so in any case, when I was around, 18, 19, 20, I was actually not interested in girls at all. So I knew every single, what's funny about that? We'll talk about it later. Alright, cool, we'll talk about it, Jess. Anyway, yeah, well, I was not interested in girls or guy whatsoever. I was just interested really much in my skate. I've been skating for the past 15 years, meaning when winter came, I knew exactly what my winter would look like. Because there's only one indoor skate park in the whole Luxembourg. That's also not funny, but whatever. Who losers? Which is Hollerich Skate Park, and therefore, because there's only one indoor place, and let's be honest, there's not that many people skating around Luxembourg. Well, you didn't have to fill up that gap that we have nobody to do anything with, because, well, our whole little tribe, all skate in Luxembourg was literally in one place. So the winter was actually a moment to look forward to, and that I really, really appreciated. Now, on the other hand, Jerry mentioned, that I was going to talk about professional cuffing season. Well, when you think about it, I've been changing job pretty much every single year for the past, since I work. So, and I always start my job in September, which coincides with the beginning of the cuffing season. And when you think about it, getting into a new job has exactly the same 7 steps. You're scouting around to get a new job, then drafting the CV, then the tryout, that's the interview, or you can also call it the 6-month tryout when you get the job, where you do the pre-season, the cuffing season, and then the playoff is when you know if you get the job or not. Well, luckily for me, I've been changing a job really a lot, and for more than a year now, I'm at the same place. Yes! I just got promoted. And for once, I think I know where I will work for the next couple of years, and that really feels good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was so inspiring and amazing. I always feel like also end of the professional relationships is quite similar to end of relationships, right? Like, because they are like, they invite you to their room, like your manager or director, and they are like, it's not you, it's us. No. And they laid you off, right? Okay, so that was an amazing story, and it brings us the last storyteller of the first half. So don't worry, we will still have 4 amazing storytellers for the second half. And let me remind you very briefly, we have 7 minutes, and after 7 minutes we also flash lights or play some sounds. So if you somehow hear some weird sounds, don't get panicked, you know, it's just us saying that 7 minutes is over. So our last storyteller of the first half, Ben. So I will read, because it's a bit his story is about his younger years as an athlete at a competition and how the little voice in his head almost ruined a perfectly good cuffing experience / romantic encounter. So thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. And thanks, Frilly Curtains, as well, for letting me come back and tell another story. So I also, with the common theme, didn't really know what cuffing season was about. And I was prepared to tell a really sad story. And then it was explained to me, and I was like, I think I have a ridiculous story that might fit with this. So I'll tell it, and you might find it romantic, you might find it sexy. You may even take some inspiration from it if you are an idiot. I want you to think back about 1,000 years to a time when 24-year-old Ben existed, and 24-year-old Ben had hair, and he was very fortunate, and he was very lucky to be a very good athlete, and that let him travel around to lots of different places and go to competitions. And it was especially fun in the winter because training outside is cold and miserable, but then you get to compete indoors, so you get to go away and compete and hopefully have a good experience. So my story is about a time when I went to a competition and was absolutely rubbish. I competed and it went very badly. But I'd gone there with some of my teammates, and one of my teammates, she had just won her first ever, and she competed really well, she just won her first ever international competition, and she wanted to celebrate. So her family were there, her friends were there, and she said, come out and celebrate with us. I said, yeah, okay, cool. I'll get drunk because I've been rubbish, and you can get drunk because you've been brilliant. And we can have a wonderful time together. No one will be sad. And so we drink a bit, and everyone's having a great time. And as the evening whiles on, we end up in the hotel bar, and it's getting quite late, and she says to me, I'm going to go to my room, and I'm going to watch a movie. You should come and join me. And now I'm 24, okay, which means my brain is not fully developed. And that's science fact. Okay, so I am going, sweet, I love movies. So I'm like, let's go. We go to her room, we're lying on her bed, the light is out, the TV's on, there's some kind of comedy movie on, I can't remember what. I do remember laughing and finding it incredibly funny, and I'm like, this is so cool. I'm lying here on this bed next to a very beautiful woman, I've had a few drinks, and there's a comedy movie on. This is great. And as this is happening, time passes by, and I feel a hand touch my hand, and I'm like, oh, I'm manspreading again. I'm going to make myself smaller.
Oh my God!
I'm going to nudge over a little bit and give her space. That's okay. So I do this. I'm not in the bed. But it's still, it's cool. And then a few minutes passes, and the hand comes over again, and my brain says, wait. You know what this means. And then I'm like, well, hang on. I touch the hand back. And then things escalate, and things pick up pace, and before you know it, kissing is happening, and clothes are being removed, and a fun time is being had by everybody. And she says, I just let's just take a pause. I just need to go to the bathroom. And I go like, yeah, whatever. I'm having like the best time ever. You're amazing. This is awesome. Didn't expect this. This is great. I've forgotten all about the competition. And she gets up and goes to the bathroom, and my brain goes, Ben, I have an idea. And I go, yeah, okay, cool. Tell me, brain. What's your idea? And my brain goes, hide. And I say, excuse me? And my brain says, you should hide. And so I'm in just my boxer shorts, and I think this is the best idea ever. And so I get up, and I look, I can't fit under the bed. I'm not going to hide behind the curtain, because that's amateur behaviour. Okay, so I look around the room, there's a wardrobe. On top of the wardrobe, there's about this much space. And I'm like, you can do this. I spend about 10 seconds, I climb onto the desk, I consider climbing onto the wardrobe, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Don't be that guy. Who's stupid enough to climb on top of a wardrobe in their boxer shorts when a romantic interlude is happening? Don't do this. So I'm like, don't be stupid, get in the wardrobe. That's much better. So I open the door, and I get into the wardrobe, and I sit on the little safe that's in the wardrobe. If you're familiar with hotels, you'll know what I'm talking about. They put the safe in there. So I'm sitting on the safe, and I'm like, this is amazing. And my brain says, she's going to love this. And I hear the toilet flush, and I hear the sink go, and I hear the door open, and my brain goes, do it. And I go, I will. 3, 2, 1. I push open the door, and at this point I realise, you fucked it. You absolute idiot. Why are you doing this? But I'm committed. I'm like halfway out the wardrobe. And so I jump out the wardrobe in just my boxer shorts, seeing this beautiful woman in just her underwear, and I go, boo. And it's dark, and she does the completely normal thing of freaking out and runs past me back into the bathroom and locks the door. And I realise, yeah, you're an idiot. And you shouldn't have done this. You've really ruined everything. And what happens then is about 5 minutes of what can only be described as almost like a hostage negotiation. I sit outside the door and I try to convince her I'm not a psychopath and she shouldn't call hotel security or the police. And I'm like, I'm just going to go. I'm going to get my stuff. I'm going to leave because I realised this was hugely inappropriate. I made a huge mistake. And she opens the door and she says, no, don't go. But let me just explain. You are an idiot, but you don't have to leave. And so she let me stay, and we continued to have a fun time. And then it turns out I didn't realise that we ended up kind of cuffed for the remainder of the indoor athletics season. And then it actually developed into a relationship for another like 2.5 years. So my cuffing story to you guys is both stupid and I think a little bit romantic. And perhaps, as a third bonus, if any of you feel inspired, don't be afraid to just hide from your partner and then jump out and scare them, because maybe something good will come of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, I will tell you all only one thing, no one word. Boo. So we will give a break so you can refill your drinks, go to toilet, whatever, smoke, and we will meet again here at 9:10. So in like 10 minutes or something like that. So see you.
What?
We should write a Frilly Curtain jingle.
Totally.
Yeah, because they have started to laugh.
Hey, how many people are watching us now?
Here's my first word.
Because it means that I'm not dressed like this for nothing, you know. And we'll keep doing this. Even Joanna, you know, she introduced this amazing platform to us. So in 2 weeks, December 11, we will be with you with the stand-up comedy, and also next year. Have a nice evening. Bye.